Shalom, this is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries. The website is www.spiritandtorah.com, and this is episode 45. Another Proof 2017 is the year of Messiah's return. And this past Sabbath, or maybe it was the first day of the week, but a couple days ago, a good friend of mine and I, we were going over an article that she found, and it is an article about the biblical significance of the number 17. And we're actually going to add a link to this article as well as to some additional articles to supplement this on the website. So keep your eyes open on the recommended links videos page, because that's where it will be. It'll be under a special section entitled The Biblical Significance of the Number 17. But as she was showing me this article, I began to realize that this was just another series of very strong proofs that 2017 will indeed be the year of Messiah Yahshua's return to planet Earth. First of all, the first half of the article shows how the number 17 is a significant factor in the number 153. And he shows this mathematically, but like if you multiply 17 times 9, you come out to 153. And of course, the 153, that number is only used one time in Scripture, and that is with the fishes, the 153 fishes that are in Yahshua's net. So we're talking about his redeemed ones, his saints. Now, the first significant thing about the number 17 is we know that Yahshua was crucified on the 14th day of the first month. That would have been Passover. Well, he was also in the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. So, if you go 3 days and 3 nights into the future, what day do you come to when he resurrected? And that would have been the 17th day. So, the number 17 is strongly linked to resurrection. It is the day of the month on which the Lord rose from the dead, having been slain as the Paschal Lamb on the 14th day of the month and raised to life on the 3rd day. The 17th is also the day of the month, and this would have occurred in the month of Zin, the second month. But the 17th is the day of the month that the flood of Noah's day began, lifting the ark off the surface of the ground. It was also the day of the month that the ark came to rest again upon the ground. So we have both the ark being lifted up and then coming back down, just like on Yom Teruah when it's fulfilled in 2017. We are lifted up off the ground, we meet Yahshua in the air, and then we come back down to rule and reign with him for 1,000 years. So 17, the number 17, continues to wrap around this concept of resurrection. You may wonder why it is that if there is indeed the resurrection number, the Lord was not also raised on the 3rd day of the month and on the 3rd day of the week. I have no answer for the whys of many kinds, but I do believe that many complex legal requirements pertaining to his death and what he accomplished by it were not met with precision. He was raised on the 3rd day of the 3rd set of 7 days counted from the beginning of the month, which was the 17th day of the month. So again, we have the number 17. Just remember that the 17 is always very much tied in with the resurrection. Now, looking away from the Bible, if we look at in Italian culture, the number 17 is considered unlucky. Very much how many in the Western culture consider the number 13 to be unlucky. The reason for this is because the Roman numeral for 17, which is the X and then the V and then the 1, which can be changed anagrammatically to V1X1. In Latin, V1X1 translates to I have lived, or in the perfect tense, my life is over. This is fascinating because this is how it is with resurrection. The old life is over and the new life begins. So even when we look at pagan culture, the number 17 again talks about a new beginning and a resurrection. Now this is really fascinating. The number 17 has some unique geometrical features. A hypercube cut along 17 faces unfolds into a 3-dimensional cross. Now I thought that was amazing. Now, I want to quote from the King James Code, and this is by a man named Michael Hogard. He is a Southern Baptist minister whom I greatly respect. He comes out with a lot of great information. But to quote him, he says, as we will see in the following analysis, the number 17 overwhelmingly represents the completion of time and change or transformation. Simply put, it represents the change that will take place at the end of time. Now, what change or transformation occurs at the end of time? Well, we know this. It's when Yom Teruah is fulfilled at the end of the tribulation, and we are transformed, we are changed in the blink of an eye. And then right in Revelation it says when that happens, this angel that has 1 foot in the sea and 1 foot on the earth declares that there will be time no more. The article goes on to say, now I'm not validating that author's conclusions, but there are some good insights and observations made that are worth repeating here. What I see in 17 is the transition from flesh to spirit. That is exactly what Paul describes in 1 Corinthians 15 when he describes our future resurrection. That the corruptible flesh, the mortal, cannot inherit immortality, but it is only the uncorruptible, the spirit. Michael references what I know as the infinity code, as promoted by Al Neal, where a numbers meaning is able to be observed in the Bible in the chapter so numbered. If you look in Genesis chapter 17, you will find a very crucial event taking place. The covenant is made between Yah and Avram with the promise of Isaac given. The consequent changing of his and Sarai's names, and the establishing of the circumcision. From that which is after the flesh to that which is after the spirit. A transition. Time's up for the flesh, time is right for the spirit. So Genesis 17 is all about transitioning from a fleshly way of doing things to a spiritual way of doing things. So because 17 is so wrapped up in this concept of resurrection, of transformation, of transition, of a new beginning, in both the biblical context and in the pagan context and in the mathematical context, I think this is just a further proof that 2017 will be the year of our resurrection. It will be the year when Yom Teruah is fulfilled, when we as his saints are resurrected, when our old life dies, our flesh dies, and our spirit is revived, and we undergo an amazing and thorough transformation. And that this is all tied up in that number 17, and that is why Yahshua, and that's why the Father has chosen in his divine wisdom and foresight that the year 2017 would be the year in which we're drawn up to meet him. So it's just that there's too many things involving resurrection, transformation, the transition from flesh to spirit that are tied up in this number to ignore it. So like I said, we're going to put these articles up on the website very soon. And in fact, when we do, I'll make an announcement on a future podcast when all that's been done. But keep your eyes on the tabs, and when you see the recommended articles and podcasts and movies and things like that, you just click on there, and we'll have this whole section there for you under that tab. But to me, it's very, very clear that the number 17 is all about our resurrection, all about Yahshua's resurrection. It's directly tied to the 153 fish, which that represents the present-day believers and saints, or the saints over the last 2,000 years since Yahshua came. And it's those believers that are going to be resurrected on this day. So keep your eyes on the sky, because here we are at the end of 2011. We got 6 years to go, and I firmly believe that this is just another verification and revelation to confirm that 2017 will be the year of Messiah Yahshua's return. And in more short-term outlook, I think that we're looking at a very swift and rapid economic collapse, possibly to start in Europe and then to spread to the United States and worldwide in the coming weeks. So we'll see what happens and keep you updated. Shalom. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on Shabbat.